This weekend is New Year's Eve, and unfortunately, that does mean that more people are going to get behind the wheel drunk.
Sadly, as Fox 26's Dominique Keith tells us, law enforcement is trying something new this year to get impaired drivers off the road. Dominique joining us now live from downtown Houston.
Yeah, hey guys, ringing in the new year is certainly something to celebrate. So this new initiative is designed to make sure everyone does so safely. And as we head into the holiday weekend, it is a reminder of the terrible title Houston has held for the last 10 years, leading the country in DWI deaths.
The fact that we've been #1 for the last 10 years in drunk driving deaths is sickening.
The statistics are staggering of just how many people choose to drink alcohol and drive every year.
We had 11,900 DWIs filed. It's the second most committed crime in Harris County.
Although numbers help explain the astronomical amount of arrest and DWI deaths, the figures don't even begin to reveal the pain loved ones are left with.
One of my favorite things to do is sleep, because I get to dream, and often I dream of my sister.
This is Jennifer. So, you know, this is how we carry Jennifer with us when we go places. You know, we have pictures.
Harris County Precinct 7 Deputy Constable Jennifer Chavis was killed last year by a suspected drunk driver who was captured on video swerving all over Beltway 8 in the middle of the day. Moments later, he smashed into Deputy Chavis's patrol vehicle and it burst into flames. Adolfo Serrano has been charged with intoxication manslaughter, yet another DWI death, which OGG calls 100% avoidable.
Their lives are irreparably changed and often ruined. And for the families of the victims, they can never really recover what they lost.
Call an Uber, call a Lyft. Some people say, well, it's expensive. Well, you know it's expensive. Funerals,
Yes.
attorneys.
In hopes of avoiding such heartbreak this holiday, 20 area law enforcement agencies are coming together for No Refusal Weekend.
There will be hundreds of officers working together, dispatched out on the streets, working with our DAs out in the field to catch more drunks before they hurt themselves or other people.
And because so many officers and deputies will be out this holiday weekend, there is a greater chance for drunk drivers to be stopped and arrested. And once those drivers are stopped this No Refusal weekend, they will have their blood drawn whether they consent or not. So remember, as you plan what you'll wear and where you'll go this New Year's Eve, also plan who will safely and soberly drive you home. Reporting live near downtown, I'm Dominique Keith, Fox 26 News.
It is 6:19 right now. Welcome back to KHOU 11 Morning News. Here are some of this morning's other top headlines.
A new Texas law will force drunk drivers who kill parents to pay child support. Bentley's law, which is named after a drunk driving victim's surviving son, would require people convicted of intoxication manslaughter to pay restitution. Payments would begin a year after the defendant is released from prison and would continue until all of the victim's surviving children turned 18. Supporters of the bill hope it would deter drivers from getting behind the wheel after they've had too much to drink. The Texas bill was signed during this session.
Next.
We are welcoming 2024 and we want to do it safely. Let's get to Olivia Leach in South Dallas with how police departments across North Texas are doing that.
Zeth Barrera will be serving up a lot of drinks this New Year's Eve weekend. He's a bartender at the Trove in Bishop Arts. He often worries about guests that have had a little too much to drink.
I walk them out to make sure they get home safe. Like, I'll wait for them outside for their lift or until someone picks them up.
The Trove expects to serve hundreds of people this weekend. And to make sure everyone gets home safely, the staff here at the Trove will be sharing this QR code that will save you $10 off your Lyft ride home from now until January 2nd at 12 a.m. so you don't drink and drive. The initiative is part of Dallas County's DWI task force.
Come have some drinks, have some fun. Just don't drink yourself.
DPD says they'll be on patrol, cracking down on impaired drivers. Even DART is pitching in to make sure you get home safely. They'll be offering free rides on New Year's Eve starting at 6 p.m.
Spend time with friends and family, but think about your safety, and we're going to be there for you.
This group of friends will be ushering in 2024 in McKinney.
I'm the DD. I will not be drinking. I will be driving them around.
Deeksha doesn't mind being the designated driver for the night.
You know how many drinks you've had. Like, don't be the guy. Don't be the person who's like, all right, let's go drive home. Like, no, just be responsible. It's not just your life, it's also other people.
In Dallas, Olivia Leach, CBS News, Texas.
Well, this morning, law enforcement officers want to warn you about driving this weekend. As people celebrate the new year, they say the roads, they could be dangerous.
ABC Action News reporter Larissa Scott is live from Tampa with more on their push to keep everyone safe. Good morning to you, Larissa.
Hey, good morning, Jazz and James. Well, as we enter the final weekend of 2023, law enforcement is teaming up to make sure everyone rings in the new year safely. Now, officials see drunk driving crashes skyrocket between New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Florida Highway Patrol tells us every year they see people get behind the wheel drunk, sometimes even mixing drugs and alcohol before driving. So while you're planning what you're going to do to ring in the new year, make sure you also plan a safe way to get home for you and your friends and take advantage of rideshare opportunities. If you're hosting a party at your house, be prepared to let people stay the night if they don't have a safe way to get home. You can expect to see some extra teams of law enforcement officers patrolling the streets this weekend.
The basic, premise of this is to simply keep impaired drivers off the road. We're going to be out in force as usual, looking for impaired drivers. I would like the arrest numbers to be 0, which means that we don't have any drunk drivers out there. But unfortunately, we know that's probably not going to be the case.
And officials want to remind you that it takes fewer drinks than you think before it's unsafe for you to get behind the wheel. I'm live in Tampa this morning. Larissa Scott, ABC Action.
Don't drink and drive. That is the message from Houston area law enforcement as they get ready to crack down on drunk drivers this New Year's Eve holiday weekend. I'm Michelle Choi explaining the initiatives they're putting in place and sharing the heartbreaking stories from families of DWI victims.
It's called the No Refusal DWI Initiative, and multiple agencies across Harris County are taking part this holiday weekend, asking you to celebrate safely and responsibly. As you get ready to ring in 2024, Houston area law enforcement wants you to keep this in mind.
There will be 0 tolerance for impaired driving.
Agencies including the Harris County Sheriff's Office, HPD, the District Attorney's Office, and more held a joint news conference this morning, hoping to stop what they say is 100% preventable crime and tragedy.
Harris County, time and time again, leads the nation in DWI-related deaths.
And according to District Attorney Kim Ogg, more than 11,800 DWI charges have been filed in 2023, 44 of those as intoxication manslaughter. 2 families of DWI victims share their painful stories.
Please do not drink and drive, because a life is something you cannot get back.
That includes Harris County Sheriff's Deputy Michael Nelson. His daughter, 23-year-old Taylor Phillips, died in a head-on collision with an alleged drunk driver back in 2018. Her 1-year-old son and her mother both survived. This morning, they stood by Nelson's side as he shared what daily life is like for his now 6-year-old grandson. He came home and he grabbed the phone and he asked his grandmother, "I need guard number because I need to talk to my mom." Jocelyn Fowler's older sister, Jennifer Chavis, a Harris County Precinct 7 deputy constable, was on duty last year, April, when she was allegedly killed by a drunk driver.
We and their family as well stand before you with pictures, because that's all that we have left, pictures and memories.
We're told officers will be out in full force all weekend, all across the Houston area to arrest DWI drivers. If you do drink, authorities say have a plan, like appointing a designated driver or calling a rideshare. Back to you.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Britt Moreno. KXAN's Mercedes Hernandez took a look at the drunk driving issues in rural areas and found out what law enforcement is doing to try to cut down on crashes this New Year's Eve.
With cities around Austin growing more every day, communities that were once quiet see lots of traffic.
There's never a time when there are no people on the roads anymore.
Glenda Chu with TxDOT says in 2021, 98 people in the Austin area were killed in alcohol-related crashes. TxDOT records show in 2021 in Williamson County, there were 304 of those crashes, 9 of which were fatal. Law enforcement there is on standby. The Round Rock Police Department says its DWI unit will increase the hours officers are on shift this weekend. And Texas DPS troopers have been out to patrol roads since December 23rd. to catch speeders and those driving while intoxicated.
DUIs are so expensive. They can cost you up to $17,000, and you can lose your job, you can lose your license.
Chu says the danger of driving drunk can cost a lot more than money and hopes locals will plan ahead before the party starts this Saturday.
DUI crashes are 100% preventable.
In Austin, Mercedes Hernandez, KXAN News.
Jen and Carrie, it is a reminder we hear often, but police say it cannot be said enough. Do not drink and drive or drive impaired. Police say they continue to see this behavior and they want it to stop. While drivers hit the roads this holiday season, police will be out there too. They work to keep the roads as safe as possible, which includes looking out for drivers under the influence.
I've been doing it, going after impaired drivers since I came on.
Columbus Police Officer Chris O'Neill is a freeway patrol and driving impaired criminal enforcement officer. He says he sees people behind the wheel when they should not be way too much. He works overnight, but says OVIs happen during all hours of the day.
Somebody needs you at Christmas morning. A father, a son, your kids, your dog. Call somebody. It's so easy to. Somebody that loves you will get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to come and get you, to keep you from going out and killing yourself or somebody else.
According to CPD, as of 2 months ago, O'Neill made 70 OVI arrests this year. Recently, he was given Mothers Against Drunk Driving Ohio's Top Cop Award.
They prevent stories. They prevent, people from not being home for the holidays. They prevent death or serious injury.
O'Neill says he appreciates the recognition, but it's not why he does the work. He does it to save lives and wants people to stop driving drunk or impaired.
I don't like seeing it. I don't like having to arrest impaired drivers. But unfortunately, it's happening. And somehow, I don't know how we're going to do it. We got to get the message across.
And taking a look across the state, the Ohio State Highway Patrol says troopers last year made 58 OVI arrests during that Christmas holiday period. With all the options available these days, they say there is no excuse for this. Local for you in Columbus, I'm Eric Halperin, NBC4.